Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your man James, aka JP, finally back with an Arcade1Up video. I know, it's been a while and we're gonna get to that. So I'm gonna talk about three things in this video. The first thing is going to be Arcade1Up has a new store, a physical location here in Miami, Florida, which is perfect because that's about 30 minutes south of me. I'm in the Fort Lauderdale area, so that's perfect. I get to see their new physical location. Now, I don't think that it's an actual like store that you go and like buy the arcades. I mean, maybe it is. Honestly, I have no idea. All I know is that they have a physical location and they're having an event for their grand opening on Thursday. They posted about it on their Instagram, so I'm definitely gonna go check that out as long as I don't get scheduled to work that night, which hopefully I shouldn't be, fingers crossed, but if not, I'm gonna miss the grand opening party and all that, but I'll be there this weekend. I'm still gonna check it out, give you guys a full tour, so make sure you guys are subscribed and stay tuned, have those post notifications on, so you get all that information once I upload it. Now, the second thing we're going to talk about in this video is me finally purchasing a brand new Arcade1Up cabinet. Can you guys believe that it's been 2 years, I think almost 3 years at this point since the last cabinet, and I can't believe it's taken that long. I mean, I kind of have, and we're going to use that to kind of segue into the third topic of this video, is just talking about where I've been. I've kind of disappeared a little bit from the Arcade1Up scene as far as making videos and stuff like that, and we're kind of unpack all that in this video. But first, I want to show you guys the brand new cabinet that I picked up. It's not brand new in terms of like it being releasing, but it is brand new to me. And can you guys take a guess at what it is? So let's go ahead and take a look over here. So these are my existing cabinets right here. These are the three that I've owned for a while, starting with the one that made me fall in love with Arcade1Up. The whole reason that Arcade1Up even started with as far as like content on my channel, and that is the Street Fighter 2 cabinet. This is the original first cabinet that ever released from Arcade1Up, and this one was actually sent to me by Arcade1Up to do a review back in the day, and I'm forever grateful for that. And then we followed that up with the Final Fight cabinet, which in my opinion is still the best cabinet that you can get just as far as variety goes, because the games list on here really offers you a little bit of everything. So this is still one of my favorite cabinets for that specific reason, and it would be really hard for me to let this one go if I ever decide to start selling cabinets to make room for future cabinets. And then the last one that I got was the Marvel Superheroes cabinet. Now, this was one that I really wanted, but I didn't want to spend the money on it, and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, actually surprised me for my birthday, as well as, you know, my friends and family. They all chipped in to get me this one, and I love this one. It's just such a beautiful cabinet with the artwork on the back that's a little hard to see because I don't have the light over here right now, but this is one of my favorite cabinets. I've done some mods to it as far as like the buttons and joysticks and springs go on it. Yeah, so these are my three favorite cabinets that are out right now. I really do want the Turtles and the NBA Jam cabinets, but I don't like that 4-player deck. I just don't think it looks right and would be a nightmare as far as space goes trying to fit it anywhere. So I just really love these 2-player cabinets. I think they just look great. So that's going to lead me over to this cabinet here, but before we do that, I gotta move the light and kind of get set up with the backstory on this. Alright, so let's talk about Arcade1Up clearance really quickly, specifically Walmart, and this happens pretty much every single year. Walmart always clearances out their Arcade1Up cabinets when they're trying to make space for new cabinets to come in the future, but I'm never lucky. I can never seem to track them down on clearance, and they really only seem to be found in like smaller town areas. And like I mentioned, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, I'm in that Miami area, so I have a very populated, you know, like busy city suburbs type of, you know, location, a very popular location, if you will. So that's why I think they don't ever really get marked down in my area specifically. I've been checking for 3-4 years, maybe even 5 years at this point. I don't think it's been quite 5 years, but you know, 3-4 years, and I'm never lucky, can never find any cabinets on clearance. Anytime I use BrickSeek, which is a inventory checker to try and locate stuff on clearance, any Walmarts that have them on clearance are usually gone by the time I can get to them, or they just don't have them at all. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I finally got lucky and was able to track the Pac-Man 40th Anniversary Edition down, and I could not pass it up. Honestly, I'm not the biggest Pac-Man fan. Like, I like Pac-Man, but it's not like a must-have for me. but it was only $150, and for that price I could not go wrong whatsoever. Now this isn't going to be a review of the cabinet or anything, because I believe this cabinet is about like 8 to 9 months old at this point, so there are plenty of reviews out there. A review on it, a full in-depth thing on it, would be kind of pointless at this point, but I did just want to kind of give an overview of the cabinet. So it's got the same exact design as all the other Pac-Man cabinets that have came out, primarily just like their standard cabinets. So it's got that iconic yellow image on the side, and this was the main reason that I wanted it, because this is such cool artwork. Ever since the original one came out that only had like 1 or 2 Pac-Man games on it, I wanted it just for the artwork, because this artwork still is just so iconic, so beautiful, and it really pops. You have that bright, vibrant yellow, and then of course you have the red molding all the way across, as well as going all the way back. The only thing I never liked, and this isn't Arcade1Up's fault, this is just the original cabinet, but I never liked the white marquee right here. I just think it looks weird. You just have like yellow and black and red everywhere, and then this white just kind of, I don't know, never was a big fan of it, but I do love the graphic that is on there, of course. And then the biggest difference with this one compared to the other ones, you can see the coin door right here, whereas the past iterations have had the games that come on the cabinet listed on there. This one has like 12 games on here, so it would be a lot of games to fit on here. So what they did was put like this decal or graphic. It's not like an actual, it's literally just like, not a sticker, but it's printed on here, of a coin door, and it honestly looks pretty good. It's really high resolution, and you know, from a distance you really couldn't tell. Like, they did a good job with like the 3D effects and everything, just to kind of make it look realistic, as you can see there. And you guys will also notice that I do not have a riser yet, but it is coming. I just have to find it out in the wild, but once I finally locate a riser, I will have it to obviously elevate this cabinet, because it looks way too small, especially with just how good these look on the risers over here. So yeah, definitely riser is a must-have. I just haven't found one in the wild yet, but I will soon. I usually do find them all the time, so it's only a matter of time before I stumble across one. And I also did a quick little mod with this one. It comes with a ball top, but I had a spare bat top laying around that was red, so that worked perfectly since it came with a red ball top. But I just like the feel of the bat top better, so I added that to this. Not a big mod or anything, it really takes 2 seconds, but that is the only thing I've changed so far on this cabinet. So I'll just kind of scroll through the games really quickly, and I'm going to cut this top light off as well as the ceiling fan off, so we can get a good look at all the games that come on here. Alright, and here we are. We're just going to start at the top and go work our way across and down and everything. So starting at the top right up here, we have Pac-Man, and then we have Pac and Pal, then Super Pac-Man, then Pac-Man Plus, Pac-Land, Pac-Mania, and that's it as far as the Pac-Man games go. Then that's going to go into other Namco titles like Galaga, Galaxian, Mappy, Dig Dug 2, Rompers, and honestly that is the only game on this cabinet that I have never heard of, is this Rompers game. But you get a very good selection of games. Now granted, literally half of this cabinet is different iterations of Pac-Man. That's my biggest problem with this cabinet, or just Arcade1Up in general, that I'll touch on in the next section of this video. But just, there's like, once you play one Pac-Man, I mean granted they're all different variations and stuff, but once you play Pac-Man, you've played Pac-Man. So I don't see myself diving into all these different Pac-Man games, but it's nice that they included Galaga, Galaxian, and Dig Dug on here, which are some of my favorites, and add a good variety to this cabinet. Alright, so I just wanted to sit down and get comfortable for this section. I'm not going to try and make it too long, but let's get into, I'm sure, what most of you want to know, and that's why has the Arcade1Up content kind of disappeared from my channel a little bit. And it's for a handful of reasons. One is just, I was kind of getting tired of making the Arcade1Up videos, mainly because so many other people were making the Arcade1Up videos that it felt like it was getting a little repetitive. Everybody, you know, as soon as some news dropped, everybody would be, you know, rushing to put out that news, and you know, anytime a cabinet dropped, everybody would be rushing. So many people just started jumping on the Arcade1Up bandwagon once it really started to take off, and I think it just got really repetitive for me, and I wasn't enjoying making the videos basically. So it just, yeah, it just felt like everybody was just making the same exact content, and it really wasn't fun anymore. But another reason is I really stopped collecting the cabinets. 1, because of space. 2, because of money, because they have been going up and up and up every single year. Every time they drop new waves of cabinets, they just become more and more expensive, and I'm not willing to pay, you know, $4, $5, $6, even $700 for some of these cabinets. You know, the $300 price range was still a little bit expensive, but it was something, you know, I was comfortable with that $300. But anything over that, I definitely was not wanting to spend, because to me, they just, personally for me, it just wasn't worth spending that money, because to be honest, I don't play these all that often. And I think it's kind of the same with everybody. We buy them, we play them at first, and then they kind of just become decorative at that point, and they just kind of, it's nice little mood lighting just in the background or whatever. The only time I really play them is when friends come over, so that's really the only time they get use out of me. Other than that, sometimes I'll turn them on and have them just in the background, just on running, just for either background noise or just mood lighting or whatever. But so that's some of the reasons, you know, I stopped collecting cabinets. Like I said, it's been 3 years since I bought that Marvel Superheroes cabinets right behind me, till now buying this new Pac-Man cabinet, and the only reason I bought that one is because it was $150. And that's going to lead me into kind of my next issue with Arcade1Up right now, is that they re-release so many cabinets. Granted, they tweak things and add games and stuff, but can you imagine paying $300 when the original Pac-Man cabinet came out about 2-3 years ago, and then I just scored this cabinet for $150 brand new that has 12 games in it, versus that other one having, I think, 2 or 3 games in it, and this one having all the upgrades with the different viewing angle, the upgraded screen, the upgraded speakers, and all the upgrades that they've made since the original waves of cabinets that they've done. I'll give it to Arcade1Up. They gradually increase their quality. I wouldn't even necessarily say quality, but you know, like the screens have improved, and they do different speaker setups than they used to. You know, the Street Fighter cabinet next to me only had one mono speaker that was firing out of the control deck, I believe, whereas now they have dual speakers that fire right under the marquee, right above the monitor. So they do make improvements as far as the designs of the cabinets and things like that, but to charge, you know, $700 for some cabinets, it's just me personally, I'm not willing to spend, especially, like I said, they keep re-releasing cabinets. This is I don't even think this is the most recent Pac-Man cabinet. There's been so many Pac-Man cabinets released. There has been a handful of Street Fighter cabinets, but I know Pac-Man has been the one that has been re-released the most in different versions. You have the regular one, the 40th anniversary 12-in-1 that I have. There's a wooden design of it. There is different versions of it. So you have the Arcade1Up traditional cabinet. You have the little countercades, the barcades, all the different. They've made every different version of Pac-Man that you can make, and most of you who are in the community completely understand like what I'm talking about as far as the different releases. Like, we want to see new games, and I know it's licensing issues, and they have a good relationship with Namco and specifically the Pac-Man games, so that's why they're able to keep re-releasing them. But we would like to see new games. It doesn't necessarily have to be Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which everybody wants, but we just want to see new titles. You know, get ambitious, go after. You have a relationship with Namco, and I believe Namco, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Namco makes Tekken, so why not make, you know, a Tekken cabinet? This is just a coaster, by the way, but you know, why not make a Tekken 3 cabinet? Like, I would buy that in a heartbeat, and I would even consider paying full price, you know, $500-600 for a Tekken 3 cabinet, because I love that game so much. So it would just be nice for Arcade1Up to kind of stop playing it safe and re-releasing the same games and different variations, different sizes of the same stuff that we've already had for the past 3 or 4 years. And it would just be nice to, like I said, just have some new titles, have some variety, and not just keep getting the same stuff over and over again. And you know, that's just my opinion on it. I know some of you are happy with that. That's perfectly fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I just wanted to explain why myself personally just kind of stepped away from the Arcade1Up scene for a while. You know, I've been here, I've been on the Facebook group, I see all the posts and everything like that, and I see all the news. And I also wanted to touch on why I haven't made videos. Another reason is I just don't have time, really. Every time news drops, it's like, and I'm in the middle of the day, or I'm at work, and sometimes I work 2 jobs in one day, so by the time I do have time to make a video, the news is already old, and you know, hundreds of people have already posted that video, so it just kind of seems pointless and redundant for me. You know, if it's a big thing like CES or you know, anything like that where they have a bunch of reveals, or E3 even, you know, then I definitely make sure that I do videos for that. But the little stuff like the different re-releases that come out, or different variations, or even the speculations of leaks that might come out, I just really don't have the time to do that, so that's another reason why I haven't done it. So just to wrap this video up in a nutshell, I feel like I've kind of gone on a little bit. Hopefully I'll chop some of this in editing and make it a little bit shorter, but just some of the reasons that I haven't done Arcade1Up as much recently is because one, it wasn't fun anymore. Two, I haven't been collecting, so I haven't had any topics to make videos on since I don't have any cabinets. And three, time, and I don't know, whatever I said before. But so that is pretty much it. I know this video was kind of all over the place, you know, talking about the Arcade1Up meetup that's going to be happening, which again, make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because I'm going to try my best to be there Thursday for the grand opening of Arcade1Up's physical location here in Miami. But if I can't make it for that, I'll definitely be there over the weekend. And the second part of this video was showing off the brand new cabinet that I got on clearance for 150 bucks, and the third part of this video we just went through. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. That link's in the description down below. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. So as always, guys, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys next time.